Well, today I'm speaking with Dr. Brown, who's introducing a new speaking charging system. Could you explain this to me a bit? Is it Dr. Brown, Three Eye Guy? You have a 4.4 tiered speaking engagements, seminars, workshops, what it is you offer. They range from 1,000 to 40,000 pounds. Could you explain that, please? Yes, indeed. I have a 4.4 tiered system. The first tier, what I call the basic tier, that is 1,000 pounds. It's actually got a subcategory of free for autistic chess clubs and any small like community center, church, university with no money, any place that has no money. I just expect that you would get me there, pick me up, in your Chevy, or put me on a train, feed me, break some bread. If there's mold in the bread, you got to take that off first, please, because I don't like moldy bread. Um, if you want the point one, now the point one would just be a lecture, a workshop, or a seminar. Um, and the same for the 1,000 pound one. Um, oh, right. If you want the free option, just give me a couple sentences as to why you have no money. And by the way, this has nothing to do with me being a lefty. I'm not going to get. I mean, I'll get a bit of empowerment from giving you this for free, and I'll work really hard at it. But there's also benefits to me, of course. If it's an autistic chess club for kids, like there's a better chance that I'll win. You know, um, which is an added benefit for me. So I don't necessarily need to charge. If it's an adult chess club, I still might do it for free. I don't expect you to let me win, but maybe I expect like a bit more food, like more than bread. Because I get ravenously hungry. Okay, thank you for that. I guess I have a question. Like, what if it's online? Like, what's the pricing? How does the pricing work there? Good question. Really good question. Half price. Okay, I'm really having a hard time wrapping my head around this fee waiving for the higher tiered options. I mean, could you explain that part to me? Because I'm not sure if it's contradictory or what. Wow, that's a great question. I mean, I couldn't have written it better myself. So, what's going on there, right? So, as I said, and I'll have on my website, that my fee goes up to 40,000 pounds. Um, what you get for 40,000 pounds, you're going to get the complete package, right? You're going to get a lecture, a workshop, a seminar. But that's only reserved for like multinational companies, like Amazon, Monsanto, right? And why am I charging, but I also have free options for those organizations. And you're asking why, is that like, why would I be giving a free option to a big multinational company? That's in the very specific context that, let's say there's a resistance, let's say within Monsanto, where I have to go sneak in or meet with the janitors who work for Monsanto in the cafeteria or in a closet somewhere. Like, I have to whisper, then I'll do it, and I'm not gonna charge you 40,000 pounds for that. My advice, I'm gonna, clearly, um, yeah, I'll waive the fee. So you'd have to tell me, that you're part of a resistance within the organization, or for whatever reason you're the research division of Unilever and you've got no money. Fair enough, fair enough. Just don't abuse that system. I mean, if you really do have money, I prefer you not to lie. There's other options too. If you don't want to pay me, like, let's say you are Monsanto and you just don't want to pay me for whatever reason because you're worried I'm going to say something bad about you to your face. Fair enough, fair enough, fair enough. But then what I expect then is that money then, well, what I'll need evidence, clearly. That money will be given to a charity of my choice. So that seems fair. Fair. And why do I charge £40,000 to a multinational company such as Amazon, Google, or Monsanto? Oh, because it's going to take me a lot more effort to figure out how, like Monsanto, good example. I'm going to take serious time to try to figure out how I can make Roundup a good thing. How can I take a bad thing and make it a good thing? That's going to take me a lot of thought and time. So these fees are about time and thought and fairness. So I hope that makes sense. I'm deadly serious, by the way. Okay, in all seriousness, you may ask what I can lecture on and what experience I have lecturing. And I've been lecturing, well, as a university lecturer in 3 countries, US, Canada, and the UK for over 20 years. I ran a lecture series for years, so I can talk about that. I can talk about my science. I can talk about what it was like to retire from science, to focus on mental health and well-being. What's it like living on a narrowboat in England? What's it like being autistic, neurodivergent? What else? You look at my ORCID, like past publications. I would obviously lecture on any of them. I like to talk about art, film, and politics, any of my special interests. Science, obviously. I'm interested in well-being, so I talk about well-being. Um, what it's more general talks, like what it's like to publish in the journal Nature. How does that feel? How would I go about doing it? What it's like to have a paper in Nature retracted. So I would love to talk about that. Something I haven't really talked about publicly. What it's like to work with some of the, greatest minds and troubled minds in evolutionary biology. I'd be willing to talk about that. Um, yeah, yeah, definitely willing to talk about that. And what else did I have on my list? You know what? I'm willing to talk about anything. Religion and science, spirituality and science. I'm quite interested in the divisions within science and between science and religion, how they weren't there, how they became there, divisions between art and science, false dichotomies. I love that. Any way that I can break down barriers, all for breaking down barriers. And most these days, yeah, that's give you a smattering. You know, I've been invited to lecture all over the world. Some of my best hosts were Japan and Australia. Um, I will travel larger distances, although, I'm autistic. I find traveling large distances quite disruptive. And being on a plane for 25 hours is like really hard on me. But I can do it. I have done it. And I would be willing to do it again. Although I think I just need a bit extra time um, to adjust a little bit. Although I'm quite resilient. I mean, I can drop of a hat, get things together, but um, yeah, I'm not trying to close any opportunities down. Um, yeah, and before in my jokes, it sounded like the whole like chess club, hobby clubs, or community centers or religious organizations. No, of course I'll lecture to them, and of course it'll be free because I know you have no money. I mean, if you're like kids in a science club, I'd go lecture to you for free. But you'd have to get your parents to approve it all, and they need to pick me up at the train station and that sort of thing, and make me some food. I mean, unless you need to get approval for that sort of thing. But anyway, peace. Have a great day.